We were literally just running off into the car holding hands.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good. We were out till 3 a.m. just doing this.
Yes, we were.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah. There was people observing that we could have done, but instead we were just chatting.
Mhm.
We have to hang out more.
We got distracted.
But yeah, no, this is what I wanted to talk about. I said that I find you adorable and you like me as well.
Yeah.
That's very fascinating, isn't it?
Because
I've always wondered, would I like other ESTPs or would I find them like, no bitch, I know what you're up to,
No,
but I find it adorable.
Because we're not up to anything bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure there's unhealthy versions of everything. Again, I haven't seen the unhealthy ESTP. Maybe the best examples are points in my life where I've been unhealthy, but really, like, we don't have bad intentions because we don't really have much in the way of intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're just like, hey, friend, what are you doing? That's kind of weird. You know what I mean?
I like you more. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I think about that. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, we're not up to anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something people don't get too. Like, they're like, I couldn't figure you out. It's like, well, open your ears and I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no secrets.
Yeah.
There's no secret to it.
Yeah.
There's
In
not.
case that we post this video and don't post the one from last night, let's talk about this intentions thing. So
Yeah.
you mentioned last night that your pet peeve is if people say, what do you think this means? Like if people, can you frame the question for me?
Yeah, so I just don't. It messes with my brain when people are like, oh, this person said this and this to me. Like, what do you think that means? And it's like, how do I tell you that I think that means exactly what they said? Like, I'm just going to repeat the words that you just told me because it's probably what they meant. But then it freaks me out that you're worried about what somebody means when they said words. Mm-hmm. That was a full sentence. Like, they probably meant that sentence, but why do you think they didn't? Like, what are you up to?
Right.
What's going on?
It's my pet peeve because my girlfriends and guy friends come to me for relationship advice, and it's always both male and female are always like, what do you think this means? Like, it's a common thing that people wonder that, and I'm like, just take it literally. Even if they mean it some other way, you have no choice but just to believe it literally. I just don't see in any where reading it in any other way could benefit you in any way. Just take it literally. It drives me crazy.
I completely agree, and it freaks me out, and I feel like I'm playing on a playing field all of a sudden where I don't know the rules, you know, and I don't know what's going on. But the thing is that people have other functions, and other people can read other people's intuitions. Or like other people's intentions. Like, that's what extroverted intuition is.
Right, but then I think about it too, like if it's done to me, like if somebody is playing with me, I want to teach them that I do not play by those rules.
Absolutely, same.
So I will
Absolutely.
still respond in a very direct way, and then they'll be like, you didn't get it, and I'm like, maybe I did get it, I just played it in a different way because I want you to treat me this way.
Yeah, same. Because it's like, I'm never gonna understand, like, I have no chance of functioning in any land in any real way, but you can understand English. You know? So, like, maybe this one has to come my way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never gonna be able to do what you're doing. Like, I have no idea what's happening, you're freaking me out.
Yeah, on my INTP video, somebody mentioned, I had said that INTPs are the weirdest type of all, and they were like, she probably isn't an ESTP because she thinks INTPs are the weirdest type of all. And I was like, tell me who you think the weirdest type of all is. And then I listed all the weird things about INTPs, and they were like, oh, you were meaning that in a literal way. I was like, how else would I mean that? They definitely are the strangest type of all.
Yeah. But I've seen this said before too, where it's like ESTPs have the biggest attachment to words because we depend on things being what they are. So like, there is no interpretation of a word. So that's why we're having problems with that word obsessive, because we seem to be in a different place about what it meant, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and I also think we have a different approach to the word manipulative.
Oh boy.
Like, I think we have a different definition. Because every conversation we've had about it, I agree with your point and you've agreed with my point, but yet we still disagree.
Yeah.
Because I think it
I
has
have
to
an
do
emotional reaction to the word.
Yeah. Like,
for sure.
Anxious reaction. You have an anxious reaction for sure.
Yep. I'm feeling weird already.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. But again, manipulation has played a part in my life that's like caused me more pain than literally anything else. So yeah.
Same.
Okay. Yeah. So this is actually, and we talked about this last night too, like the biggest place that we found differences. Right. In our
continue on.
Everything. Well, I don't know. I don't even know where to start, but it's like I have such a hard time with the idea that it's okay to mislead people in any way with your words, because like if I don't want it done to me, and like I don't want to do it to people I care about, I want to keep reality. I want to keep it clean. I want to keep it clear cut, you know? And like I just don't want to mess with that, and that scares me. Like having reality warped scares me because I don't know how to function in anything else. You know?
And I let's see. I might explain this in a different way. I explained it last night because I've been thinking about it. But I wonder if I don't, because I grew up in a household of high FE users and high FI users. And so my high TI was not welcome, welcome at all. And then I fought it with the pureness that you approach it for years and years. And
it won.
Well, no, I don't. I approach it differently now. Like I see that there is a time and place. Let's see. I'm gonna try to do. Hang on, let me go pee, and I'm gonna try to do a good job explaining this.
Okay. Something right before this about what pureness of conversation or something.
Yes, that's very important.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, but what's been so interesting about like digging into each other's brains is that, again, we found very few points that we really disagree with. But what's so cool about that is it's just like exploring all the sides of TI, you know, and like ESTPs are willing to go to the bottom of anything we believe, because anything we believe is because of SE, like external observations of real things that we see mixed with the logic about it. So there's no personal anything in either one of these things. It's just like SE with what makes sense. So it's like if you sit with two ESTPs, it's like you should, or anybody else with high SI or high TI, you should be able to come to the same conclusions. And this is like a thing that offends other people, because you'll be trying to get them to come along your logic train, and if they don't do that, they can find it offensive. And find it offensive that you're questioning their beliefs. So this is like one of the things that happens with TI and FI, is that FI gets offended at all of TI's questioning. But for TI, it has to be observable, and then you have to be able to make a logic train out of it for it to be real or worth holding on to. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We have like very few points that we're different about, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. Because it seems, I don't believe, and it seems that she doesn't believe, that if we got to the bottom of it and figured it out, that we would have different thought processes about the whole thing. And we'd be able to trace it back to the life experiences we had that made us that way. So that's what we're doing.
I 100% agree with what you're saying.
It's fun. Yeah. Right. But the manipulation thing. Right. She grew up in this house of high feelers, and I grew up in a house of TI users who, I mean, TI was God. It's like, honestly, it's like, well, God was God, but then TI was God. but like if you said anything that didn't make sense, like you got torn apart. And torn apart's dramatic. Like we just told each other that it didn't make sense, and here's why. And so it's like my TI had to be polished to perfection, and that's like the thing that I thought was most important. So like the idea of manipulation, I don't know, just freaks me out. And we didn't do it, and I didn't see it as a kid. You know, it was just like you said what you meant what you said, and you like operated in like a place of like absolute truth. I mean, not that we never lied, you know, sometimes as a kid you steal the cookies or whatever, you know, and get in trouble. But we really didn't, like, we rarely lied. I don't know. It just wasn't a thing. Because you had a reason for everything you did, because you thought about it.
Yeah, and last night she asked me how often I lie.
And she said, not much.
How often do you lie?
Not much. And if ever, it's for a very poignant reason. And I said, I'll lie for my friends if they want me to. Because, fine. Like, if they have a secret they need me to keep, I'll do it. And if that takes a lie or two to keep, I will do that. I will try to just keep a secret by silence, but I'll give that to them if they need it. You know? And that's not hurting, well, it can still hurt your own relationships. Mostly they're hurting their own relationships. So, I don't know. But I like to keep my relationships pure. I'm getting tired of talking to myself.
I'm kind.
Just rambling. But I like to keep my relationships pure. I don't mind misleading somebody a little who I don't know or I've just met and don't care about. Especially if I think it's protective. But people who I care about, for the most part, I don't have to protect myself from. And I don't want to. I want to keep it like completely open and pure. One more orange juice. We really like orange juice. It's our favorite juice.
I feel like we're gonna be friends forever. I cannot believe I like ESTP. I can't believe I like you as much as I do. We'll cut this out.
No, I like that part.
We're singing ESTP praises. I'm so excited that I like an ESTP as much as I like you.
Before I came, she kept saying things like, if we like each other in real life, and I thought she was nuts. I'm like, we're obviously gonna like each other.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Right, but then like some compatibility theories are like the same thing doesn't get along, which is, to me, is silly. Because I think with the same thing, you feel like this huge strength in like shoulder to shoulder, like go get the world together kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You know?
It's a camaraderie. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
That I feel with INTP.
Yeah. But it's absolutely true. Like, I'll give you anything you want, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so then another thing that's just so offensive is when people think that I have some kind of weird intentions by saying the crap I'm saying. But I'm really just sharing my observations and then my deduction of that. That's all I'm freaking doing, man. And I just think it's interesting, and I want to share that with you, with whoever.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And a lot of times, and I've noticed you do this, you frame things in a way that you think your audience can digest it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when Cara and I were asking you earlier about questions about what you do, you were framing it in a way that was customized for us.
Yeah, I was trying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because it'd be way different, like...
If you were talking to another doctor that understood
everything. Way different.
Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't even be having the conversation, really, but...
Okay, that's true.
Or, like, I might talk to them. We were talking about how, like, docs often make themselves, like, DNRs or, like, do not resuscitate, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and how other people don't. But, like, another doc, you might talk about the point that, you know, doctors do that, and then you talk about, you know, why that makes so much sense and what our preferences are and what we've learned from our experiences. I don't know, whatever. But you might have the conversation, but it'd be different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But yeah, I do try to frame it, yeah. But that's always hard. It's really hard, and I really am actually very careful about this being like assumptive of people's knowledge level, so I try to assess it before I talk, because I hate when people tell me stuff I know, like in a way, like in a really intense way, you know, like they're trying to teach me something that I know. Like there's a part of me that's like,
you're really good at assessing it, because it was just definitely, it wasn't like doc like us, it was just like friends chatting.
Yeah.
And I definitely picked up that you were gauging like how to explain it in a way, because I felt like you were wanting to impart some knowledge to us.
Absolutely.
On things that we could possibly think about for ourselves.
Yeah. Or your families or whatever.
Yeah.
Just information nuggets, not like an opinion.
Right. I saw you do that. And not every ESTP is well developed, so definitely credit to you.
Yeah. I mean, thanks. But yeah, but again, I wish we had more ESTP examples. So what about like famous people that we think are ESTPs? I was talking about Bill Burr.
I think Madonna is.
And Madonna, yeah.
Yeah.
Madonna though, does Madonna, you think she's healthy? No offense, Madonna, we're just wondering.
If you see this, we're big fans. Big fans.
Big old fans.
Really, I really am.
Yeah, same.
Because Cher said something about Madonna that I 100% agree with. She said Madonna spun gold out of straw. Right. She wasn't a fantastic singer. She's not a beautiful person. Like, she's not like physically extremely beautiful, but she made it happen. So I can agree. Like, brilliance. But what's your question?
Is she healthy?
Oh, she seems a little more arrogant than the two of you, than the two of us.
The two of you.
Definitely how I approach the world.
Two of you. Yeah. Well, fame is a whole thing, you know, that we don't know anything about.
Have you seen yourself change at all since you're a dog?
Yeah, but
Could you see how it could get to your head?
Yeah. Because the level of like respect that people approach you with, like that is power. Do you know what I mean? And but I try to never forget that like with great power comes great responsibility. You know what I mean? So like as much as these people look at me and just look like they would believe anything I said, like I try to never ever mislead. You know, even like nurses, patients, whatever. I could see how it could get to your head. And, you know, is it Jordan Peterson that talks about how, like, people, like, no people do good with power? Or, actually, Bill Burr might talk about that some, too. About how, like, oh, like, men are in charge and women are complaining about how men don't do well with power for all these reasons. But, like, if women are in power, you know, he listed some examples of why they wouldn't do a great job either. Like, people don't handle power well.
I agree.
So
have you seen, I mean, you have stepped into being a student to being a doc. Have you seen that shift, like, in your mind?
So again, now it's like I'm an intern, so I am, you know, I have that MD behind my name or whatever at work, and people see that. They don't know necessarily where I'm at in the process, yada yada. So have I seen that shift? I'm starting to see how you could. You know what I mean? I'm starting to see
how do you ward against it? What keeps you from power tripping?
That's what I'm saying, is that like I try to remember that it's all a responsibility, and like I have something to offer the world, and like I need to take it seriously, and it has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean?
Are you careful with who you surround yourself with?
100% yes, absolutely. I do not like to let pathologic people, unhealthy people, very selfish people into my circle, period. Or very manipulative people. Like, I've learned that I am human and my brain is capable of getting muddied by other people.
So for myself, I mean, I'm just a house cleaner, so I don't have the same issues to deal with. But for myself, I like to surround myself with people that see me as exactly who I am. So people that can call me out. And I've actually seen you appreciate this exact thing about me is when I question your opinions. I've seen you enjoy that. So, are you careful about not surrounding yourself with yes men and yes women?
Yes men and yes women.
Or is that not a thing in your...
Yes men and yes women?
Is that not a term?
I don't, you gotta...
Okay, so you know how when people get super famous and people talk about how they've gotten to a place where they're just surrounded with yes men and yes women?
People would do whatever I say?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mess with that. I don't mess with that at all. Like, I don't want that. No, I won't do that. I keep these people at an arm's length. Because why would you be like that towards me? Like, what is that? Like, what do you, like, you're not offering me humanity. You know? It's like you just want to be, you want me to give you something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That when people just straight, like, are like, oh, like, yield to your every twitch. Mm-hmm. It's because they want something from you, is it not? I mean, am I crazy here?
No, I would definitely say, like, they're looking for status or, yeah.
Right. And it's like, I'm not interested in just a relationship where I just, like, give somebody some sort of feels. And it's like, I'm not interested in giving you status because, like, I'm not interested even in having status. Mm-hmm. You know? And to me, the word status is almost a dirty word somehow.
Same. I feel the exact same way.
Like, why? Why do you need to be better than other people? Mm-hmm. Like, what is that? Like, that feels, I mean, it seems like a very strange thing to me. Mm-hmm. But again, people are the most important thing. People's minds are the most important thing to me. Mm-hmm. And relationships with people. Mm-hmm. And I like equal relationships. So yes, moral of the story is I do not do the yes man thing.
Yeah.
There are people who are overly nice in my life, but they're people that I have deep connections with. So they give me a lot of information. Like, they're willing to share with me their life views.
Okay. Are they overly nice because they're just overly nice?
Just because that's
people?
them.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always just people like that. They're so wonderful to be around.
Yeah.
I love overly nice people.
I don't know. I try to get them to stop, but whatever.
I love it.
I have two friends who were having a conversation. There was the four of us in a room. It was me, an ESFP, an ENFP, and an ESFJ in a room. The ESFJ and the ENFP were like just constantly trying to comfort each other. Like, oh, it's fine. No, it's fine. Like, you do the dish. It's fine. And I'll pay you past me. And it's fine. It's fine. I got this and I got this. And it's fine that I'm helping you like this. And so the rest of the night I was just like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. Come on. It's fine. It's fine. You know what I mean? Because I want them to not have to think they have to do this.
Yeah.
You know? Because they like each other. They're friends.
Yeah.
They care about each other. They don't need to, like, I'm so worried.
I was telling you last night, my ESFJ sister, my best friend, she's still in conversations with me. I mean, my whole point in conversations, I want to get to the point as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible. If you hurt my feelings, we can deal with it then, but let's get to the point and we can veer off the point if we need to, but let's try not to. My sister, my ESFJ sister, when she's telling me a point, she has so many
caveats.
Yeah, all the time. She's always like, I don't mean this, I mean this. Now, I'm not saying this, but I'm saying this. And I'm like, Amy, we've been together since my birth. You already know. I don't need you to say, like, to protect my feelings. And she's like, no, I just need you to understand exactly what I'm saying. So she has just this need. They just come at the world from such a cushioned place. Right. Or they're creating such a cushioned place.
Ay, ay, ay.
It seems like so much busy work to me.
And it makes me anxious when people do this because, like, I can't offer the same. You know, like, I just don't have that. I don't know what the F you're doing or why, and I don't know how to do that. And I can't participate in this behavior. And I hope I'm not doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I hope I'm not hurting people by not being able to do it. So it makes me nervous, you know?
Okay, I grew up with it, so it doesn't necessarily make me nervous. I'm just like, you're wasting your time, honey. You don't need it. But she just wants to be understood, so.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I see. So you're more comfortable in the feeling land than I am. You are. Like that. That's feeling land.
Yeah.
Like all the comfort in conversation.
I find it very inefficient, but I'm not uncomfortable.
And it makes me nervous.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I try to get rid of it. Like, you know, quit.
Yeah. Occasionally when I watch, because I told you I watch murder mysteries and cold case files and all that, and occasionally in the police interrogations they do the whole sound effect where they this is how many times you stab them, and they beat their fist down on the table so many times. And I think of myself in the situation where they're beating their hand down on the table so many times. And I told Carr, we were watching it together one time, and I was like, I think I would look at that police officer and say, stop being silly. Like, because they were trying to create a feeling. Like if the person stabbed the other person and the police officer is hammering down his fist on the table as many strikes as the person had, then it creates a feeling for the person. And I would just be irritated with the inefficient
7 times. Moving on.
Yeah, and then I would just be
right.
It makes me embarrassed. Honestly, it makes me embarrassed when people engage in feelings that much.
Yeah, same. Right, but they are speaking to a crowd. There's people that respond to this.
Yes.
I'm not one of them, and I wish that, you know, I do tend to wish this stuff wasn't real.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't believe people function like this.
I just realized that makes me embarrassed. When people think that I should have feelings about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel the same way.
Yeah.
And there's a group of people that does not feel embarrassed about that.
Yeah, no. I just... Well, it's people are assuming FI. I mean, they're assuming FI. That's what they're doing. And it's like, I don't have that. Like, you got me wrong. You feel misunderstood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we were talking last night. How do you convince FI users of something? Like, if we have an argument...
You don't.
When we have a disagreement, not argument, but when we have a disagreement, we come at it from such a logical point.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're having a disagreement with a high FI user, how do you convince them of something?
I feel like you just have to go all the way deep with them to like... You have to find their feeling, identify it, and work with it. You know what I mean? Because even though feelings are their own thing and they're not logically explainable, I try to like identify what it's called, you know, and work with that in conversation. But it's a whole other game. I mean, not game, but like it's just...
Do you think as we get older, we'll get better at this whole thing? The FI thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that at the end of the day, balance is the key to most things. Dun, dun, dun.
Right, but explain how that ties into my question.
I think that we all develop balance as we get older. As you get older, you get wiser. I think wisdom equates to balance in most things.
Yeah. So we will understand you FI users in the future.
Yeah, the thing is, y'all are, like, every single one's different. Like, none of them are doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
Right, and I noticed that with my videos on FI users. So I have a video I could make on ISFPs. I have a video I can make about ESTPs. I have videos I can make about other FI users. But I'm very hesitant to make videos on those types because they really are so unique. Whereas high TI users, we tend to be a little more similar.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying when you're in the bathroom, is that like we think we should be able to come to the same conclusion. We think we should be the same. Is that like actually the thing?
Right, and we both understand that.
Yeah.
We believe something outside of ourselves is right.
Right.
We probably are not right. But if we dig deep enough, we will come to this.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas FI users, they are FI in themselves.
It's all
They're
open.
individual. They are disconnected from other FI users. And so it's very difficult for me to make videos on FI users, like things that drive me insane. Even though I have things that drive me insane, but it doesn't pertain to all FI users. Whereas if I was making a video about TI users, they'd be like, oh darling, this point is wrong, and they would just know that I was wrong about that point in their mind, and it wouldn't be a big deal to them, whereas FI users are extremely connected. I don't know.
Right, like you're offending their humanity.
Correct, yeah.
Whereas if you say something to a TI user and they think it's wrong, they just think it's wrong. That's
Right. It is what it
has
is.
nothing to do with them.
Right.
Yeah, and I find the same connection with the INTPs with their high TI. It's just, they believe too that they'll get to the same conclusion to you as you. And I love working with them because their TI is just flawless. It's flawless, and it's so open to, it's so open to the facts, you know, because we have facts to offer. When the people that have higher TI, we're better at picking up facts. So we have that to give them, to feed into their logic train. And that's fun. And they're open to that. They need it, you know, because they spend so much time thinking that sometimes, you know, the thought train can start missing factoids.
Yeah, they're so focused that they're not taking in more information. Right. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. The longer you and I are friends, I'll be very curious to hear Carr's perspective of you. Like, obviously, it takes him a longer time to
form an opinion.
Yeah, but I'll be very curious to. He did. Last night I was like, do you see ESTP in her? And he was like, I definitely see introverted thinking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what we connect over more than anything, because it's like an observation is your own, like, an observation has to go through TI to come back out.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It does.
Yeah. You have to put it into words.
Yeah, and I mentioned to somebody in my comment section, it was an INTP in my comment section, he was talking about something. And I said that I think the reason Carr trusts me so much, like, we are a team in life, and he absolutely trusts me in that we have similar thought processes. Where I see myself do this with you. You have such a completely different life than me, but I see myself trust that your handling of situations is similar to how I would handle it if I was in that same situation, and I have that same relationship to Carr, and he has that same relationship to me, whereas he has introverted or extroverted intuition and I have extroverted sensing. So when I tell him things about the outside world, my extroverted sensing, he trusts it so much more than he would trust it from anybody else, because the rest of our brains are set up in the same logical processes. So it's like he has access to more information in the world from a source that he trusts, even though it's outside of himself.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's such a connecting thing, and people think of feelings as like the connector, but that's like TI, like human connection right there.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. We are such geeks.
I know.
What the fuck?
I know. People don't get it. And people look at me in that and they would never understand what a nerd I am and the weird crap I think about.
Yeah.
And this is all I care about. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care about fucking
Same.
I don't know, like how your mom made you feel on your shopping trip last week. Like, I'm sorry, you're making me itchy. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, sorry that girl looked at you weird, or like said a flirty word to your boyfriend. Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Same.
I'm on a whole other planet.
Yeah.
But people don't get it because we look so SE, man. SE looks superficial, and maybe it is. It is. When you put it by itself, it's just like choom, 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 choom.
And I would definitely say I even create a superficial vibe about me to a certain
It's
extent.
because you want people to have fun,
Okay, yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so my other ESTP friend, I think we connect more over SE, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because it's just experiences. We just do stuff. da, 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 da. But you and I have the same interest. And we seem to be more interested in our TI. Mm-hmm. She'll go there a little, but then she gets distracted with SE land.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just had a very powerful feeling. Like I had very powerful, and not feelings, not even emotions, but powerful reactions to thoughts and to. So when you were talking about that, we have similar interests, and we have similar interests in people. Like I have a very powerful reaction in my body, so I want to talk about that with you. So when you feel happy, do you feel it like bubbling up from inside of you? Like it's from your whole core of your being, like your entire body vibrates happiness.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? So when you're angry, like your entire body just vibrates and just responds to anger, like just angry darts. Just
yeah. So this is the thing that bothers me about myself, because it's like I'll feel like I'm raging. Like I feel like a crazy person inside when I'm angry. And even though I'll think I'm acting crazy even, and then I'll reflect back on other people later, like, oh, like did I handle that well? Like I think I effed up here. And they'll be like, you were fine, you were mad? Like, no, are you kidding? Like I'll think it's everywhere. Because
your entire body is consumed by it.
But the thing is, I'm so scared, like I don't want to impose that on people, especially people that don't deserve it.
Same.
Especially when it's something dumb. Like sometimes it's something dumb that made you mad. I don't know about you, but I get mad by people brushing on me, and that can like make me rage, like on the inside.
So that can spark those little darts of anger?
That can, feel dark feelings. Yeah, when it's... But again, most people don't do this. This makes people nervous when I say stuff like that because they think they're going to do that. But if this is somebody I'm telling that to, I know them enough that if they were making me feel weird, I would tell them. But it can make me feel ragey. And then I feel guilty. I feel like I did something wrong because I felt those things. And I feel sure that people know that I did.
Me too. I've had instances where I was ferociously angry and I handled it. And then later I talked about it to the people that were around me, and they were like, oh, I didn't realize. And to me, because it's so consuming, my siblings say...
Like, brain's literally doing nothing else besides, raging.
Yeah. Nothing. And I have my siblings, I've had my ISTP sister told me that I'm like a bundle of explosives. Like, it doesn't matter if it's happy or if it's, there's always, just this brewing lava underneath, something. I take up a lot of space in the world. But I feel like that is how I feel everything. It's from just this depth of, so when you see me smile or when you see me cry or when you see me raging, I'm feeling it throughout my entire body.
Yeah, same.
I vibrate with anger or happiness or passion or love or whatever.
Yeah. So the problem with the angry part though is there's no way that I could say what I'm thinking in those times, because I would just tear a human apart, limb to limb, I would break them, that's what my brain's doing, and you can't say that crap, that's evil, you know what I mean? So I feel evil, and then I feel like I'm hiding something too. So it's a whole mess of guilty emotions, And
see, I actually think being with Carr has balanced me out a little bit because I get to filter myself through him a little bit. And he has that introverted sensing, and that's such a soft filter. So when things go through, is it introverted sensing that softens things? I don't know. But they have such a soft energy about them. And so when I just let my rage or let my passion or whatever, I let it go through the filter of him. So this morning I was feeling very insecure about my YouTube videos. I was like, I'm just so vulnerable, Carr. Everybody knows all my flaws about me. And he was like, he was just very, he said, yeah, I thought about it. There's, cringy moments, but that's who you are. He just very much was super calm about it. And so I get to filter all those passions through another relationship, and I think it has helped to
I hate feeling like anybody thinks they get to restrict me in any way.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to be restricted, it's going to be for a darn good reason, and it better make sense to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so anybody just telling me something, no way.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't know if that was just because I grew up Amish and I'd spent my entire life
Being
people telling me you can't do this and you can't do that. I'm surrounded by feelers, and they were like, you can't say that and you have to feel this.
ugh.
I felt so free in my adult life. I felt just so free because I get to be myself.
I feel like I'm an ambassador of freedom.
Like I do.
Yeah.
That's a good way of saying that.
I feel like I try to pull other people to freedom. Like I try to get them out of their restriction.
And I actually think that me making YouTube videos, like I think people get to see me be so vulnerable and see that it's okay. And I think that it helps people be okay with themselves.
Man, because people have all these hang-ups deep in, you know, and it's, at the end of the day, it's like, why though? You know, it's like life is not as serious as people want it to be. You know, like, and I don't know how many times I've said this since I've been here, but we're all gonna die, like in a big way. And does that make life meaningless? No, I don't think so. But like, it's not that serious, and the little crap that you're getting hung up on is not that serious. And you know, and people are always worried about things like, oh, well, I used to feel this way, and I'm scared if I feel this way that other people will think this of me. And it's like, dude, first of all, people don't pay that much attention to you. Period.
Amen.
Like,
amen.
Like, people care way more about themselves than anything you'll ever understand. For starters. And second, like, it's okay to change. Like, if something's in you that's not serving you, like, what's it doing? It's holding you back to the past. This sounds like working with SI users now, but they get very stuck on things or ideas or beliefs or whatever. Tradition. But it's like, you just don't need to. Like, if it's not doing anything for you, why? Like, who are you doing it for? But they have these intense loyalties, so they're doing it for probably somebody, you know. But does that person even need that? Are you sure they even need that? And most of the time they can't answer these questions.
Because they haven't thought it through.
Right.
What do those people spend their thought processes on?
Living up to something.
You know how, I mean, for them, obviously it's not as tiring and as daunting. Probably for them, listening to our thought processes, they're like, oh my God, I can't spend my time spending that much time thinking like this. But for us, this is freedom. Absolutely. Whereas for them, thinking about living up to people is freedom. But for me, that is prison.
I don't know if they... Prison. I think if you get talking to them, though, they don't think it's actually freedom. They do realize that there's negativity in the restrictions, but obviously this is important to them in some way that I don't understand. But the negative side is a real thing. That's all I see, quite frankly. Now, SI, like dedication, SI, whatever, dutifulness, responsibility. It's amazing, and I need it in my life. Like, I need it.
I love SI. Yeah.
Like, I need it. Like, I need it. You know what I mean? It's like, I am so all over the place. And it's like, they bring you back to center in life, in activity. Like, in real life, they bring you back to center. And they can keep you healthy and, like, you know, keep your bills paid. Like, you know, keep you remembering that, you know, you got to make things run smoothly in life. When I would rather forget all that.
There's a place for everybody.
Yeah, there's a place for everybody. And the place for SI is right next to me.
Me too.
But, but I think that I offer them freedom that they don't know how to have.
Yeah, I definitely think that Carr lives vicariously through me. And I mean, he's an INTP, so he has SI further down on his list. It's his third function, but he definitely I bring feeling and life into his world.
Feelings.
Emotions. Even though I'm an ESTP, I definitely do. He's dead inside.
Oh, the INTP way. You just like want to prod them. You know what I mean? Like, wake up!
And I do.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I love inspiring the INTP.
Oh, God. Man. Yeah, INTPs. They're a good time. They're just, oh man, and the way their minds are just open to new information. Do you find that? I mean, I just love that.
Well, they can be both stuck in their ways and open to new. So if I present an idea as just an idea, like something I've observed, and they don't have to respond to it right away, it's a good response that I get from the INTP. But if I'm trying to change their mind, it's not a good response.
Yeah.
So if I just make an observation and they can take it in, it works.
But I don't want to change their mind because
sometimes I do.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably guilty of that too.
INTPs are really stuck in their ways and they need their mind changed.
That's the SI crap, though. And you know how you're talking about, we think INTPs are so adorable. I wonder if that's because their SI is in that third spot, which is like that innocent spot, and we have this giant old SE, and we're just like, oh, like, it's so cute.
It is. Is it not cute? So other personality types out there, it's not cute to you all? Like, is it just cute to us, or is it cute to the whole world?
I mean, I think a lot of people find INTPs just so, like, harsh and, like, not necessarily harsh, but, like, the mega nerd. They're, like, all the way nerd, and they're, like, into their nerd. They're full nerd. Like, that TI is just so intense.
Yeah.
That, like, I think that, you know, not everybody sees the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know.
That would make sense.
And people get intimidated by the TI. People can't move past the TI. Because it's a lot. I mean,
similar to what we were talking about in the beginning of this video, like people see us as being harsh when
superficial.
Right. Well, we definitely are not that, but people could mistake the INTP in the same kind of way.
Yeah.
Just super nerd, no feelings.
And if you're gonna approach the INTP, it's like, you better know what you're talking about, man. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just come in there with some crap. Like,
yeah,
I just had a conversation with one the other day, and he made this point, and I was like, well, here's the reasons I disagree. And then I kept talking, and I was like, so actually I agree.
I do that all the time. Like, I'm like, I talk myself into agreeing, and Car's like, I knew you'd think I was right.
Because they're right.
Yeah.
They're better at it than we are.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, me too. I
and
love
it's
that.
exciting.
Yeah.
And it teaches you stuff.
Yeah.
But, and you can like throw an idea in there, or like a factoid, something you picked up that you don't know what to do with, and they will make it, and they'll make sense out of it for you. And I love that.
Yeah.
It's like when it's too big for me and my already pretty big TI, it's like they're some of the only ones out there that'll take that idea and chew it up for me.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
I also get so I feel so flattered when the INTP notices me. Like other people that observe the world and it's not unusual for them to notice things, it's not as flattering, but when an INTP notices something and that's not inside their own little reality, I'm just like, me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just find the attention from the INTP, I just love it.
Right. I mean, that NA or that TI mixed with that NE, I mean, that's all just inside their head.
Yeah.
Like NE, as much as it's an extrovert function, it's out there somehow, but it's not really out there. It's like NE is like ideas. It's really actually completely cerebral. Like they're all in their head. Yeah.
Like, you find me sparkly enough to like me?
Yeah.
Above all the other sparkly things?
In your brain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough to step out and pay attention for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that.
I swear there's a thing. I've been telling Katie all weekend. It's a thing. INTPs and ESTPs. Definitely a thing. But I'm not sure. I feel like from what I've observed, it goes female girl ESTPs to guy INTPs. I've yet to hear about the opposite direction.
Yeah, but who would you hear about it with?
Just in my comment sections. I mean, I haven't heard.
Oh. Yeah, but okay, here's the dirty secret about guy ESTPs.
They don't do this personality type thing.
They A, don't do the personality type thing, and B, they would like everybody. Like a guy ESTP is like, they're, you know, they're spreading their seed. Mm-hmm. They're living the man life harder than any other man, you know? And so, and I don't think they would talk about this stuff as much.
Right, whereas girl ESTPs would be a little more, like we do have to, even with being an ESTP, females just have to be more careful with the reproductive thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True. And I think guy ESTPs are probably even more separated from the feeling world. I don't know.
Because they never had to develop it.
Yeah.
Because I definitely 100% agree with you that the world etches ESTPs. Mm-hmm. And ESTP females are definitely going to be etched differently than ESTP guys.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
So as we get older, do we look more and more different?
So I think that their behavior was encouraged more likely in so many ways that they didn't ever have to think about this as much.
Right.
Or it just never sparked that interest.
Right.
In probably most. Because their behavior is so accepted and...
Right. And I even feel like I can tell a difference between, like I grew up Amish and I think my behavior was even less acceptable than as an ESTP female in that culture than your female ESTP in this culture.
But so, I think for a girl though, I was as accepted as I could be.
Correct, yeah. But so I noticed a difference in that. Like I have softened myself, like I talk about softening my face, like, and you mentioned that my FE, like my developed FE is a sham. But it is. But it's also developed because the world has etched me. I need to be accepted.
Yeah.
And being Amish and growing up Amish as an ESTP girl, I had to develop that.
And I'm finding the expectations of this whole feminine role to be more and more blatantly obvious in my face as I get older, somehow.
Interesting. Yeah, I notice you're not happy about it at all.
No.
It's so much fun once you embrace it.
I just don't think it's just such a societal pressure thing that doesn't necessarily need to be there. You know what I mean?
So you think you're going to change all of society?
No.
Or are you going to try to be as impactful as possible in the one role you have in life?
I have no plans of like making big societal changes. Like it's not really in my to-do list. But
no. Yeah. I want to be impactful as much as possible.
Yeah. So I think I don't know. Yeah. We're getting back into what I feel like is manipulation territory. You know what I mean? But no, I want to spread like excitement and truth. You know what I mean?
Same.
You know, that's it. In my own little whatever realm happens. Whatever realm I'm in. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like I just want to live, and I want the people around me to live the best they can.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I don't know. But yeah, I resent the societal expectations of the female. And you know, people get down to, when they start talking about this crap, they get into like, oh, well, in relationships, you know, this is what works and yada yada. It's like I can find one guy who's like down to, you know, I don't know, whatever, deal with my crap in whatever way. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a relationship. I'm talking about like the way society in general expects me to be and reacts to me. Ugh. I don't know. The whole girl thing, man. It'll get to you. It'll get to you. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
We need to, in a couple years, we need to revisit this topic and see how the two of us have changed on this topic.
Man. But the thing is I do find myself getting softer and softer. But like, I realize it and I'm like, why do I have to do that? Why have I done that? You know?
I think the reason you've probably done that is exactly for what you find valuable in the world, is that you want the people in your life to live the best life possible. And for me to make the biggest impact in the world, I have to be as soft and as approachable and as digestible as possible. And so I've taken it upon myself because I have such pure, intense observations of the world. So in other ways, I need to be as soft and digestible as possible so that I have an in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but I feel like I'm giving up one end for the other. Because I used to just come at people like, and like people be like, you know, thrown back and be like, what's going on in my life, man?
And I love that punch. I love when people can just push me, and then I have to stand up and decide. Am I going to respond? Am I going to take in what they, like, I love that brutal punch of the ENTP and the ESTP, which I've never met an ESTP, but the ENTP and even the IST or INTP to a certain extent. Like, I love that just brutal punch, but some people don't.
Right. So that's where I've gotten edged, because yeah, a lot of people respond great. And it's like, you changed my life, Katie. Like, you did this for me, and you helped me work through this, and thank you. Like, you made me think of everything in a totally different way. And it's like, you know, yeah, that's awesome, you know. But then other people are like, you're evil.
Yeah.
Like, you're straight evil, and you're being mean to people. You're bad to people. You are a bully. You are all of these terrible things. And it's like, that's hard to like go home and exist with, having been told that day. You know?
Yeah, that's breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when people think that I don't have their best intentions at heart.
Right.
Because that is actually what I exist for.
Right. And again, it's like not even a matter of liking somebody or not liking somebody, because sometimes I wonder if these are even things that like I do, because like people are just people. Like, and I don't think my opinion of people matters. You know what I mean?
You will still do the best for people even if you don't like them?
If I interact with them a lot. Like, if I really think somebody's awful and I can get away with not dealing with them anymore, I will. But like, if I have to interact with you, it's like I will try to make you better.
Same. Yeah. And that is actually my standard for what I judge people to be a good person or not for.
What?
Is if... So, for high FE users, for instance, sometimes even their inner circle, even if they observe things about their inner circle that is harming their inner circle's life, they will not point it out to them. And I think that is a bad thing to do.
Same.
I judge that as a bad action.
Same.
Whereas if somebody is, like, if you dislike somebody that you know in your life, but still you try to make their life better, by correcting them or by making them aware, because even if people dislike you, it gives you a little bit of leverage. They dislike me, so now I have more leeway to say something that could impact them. And we take in all those considerations and we make those people's lives better even if we don't like you. I make your life better if I have a possibility of doing that.
Right.
And so I judge people by that standard. Do you? And often I think about this with people in my life, because I always am keeping a gauge of who I believe people are in my life, because I have an inner circle, and then I have an extended circle, and then I have like people that don't affect me at all but are still friends. And so if you are in my inner circle, I'm always gauging. If you walk through a room that had light switches, just like light switches that could make people's lives better or worse, would you be a person that would walk through and flip the switch that made everybody's life better?
Even though you might get slapped across the face.
Would you do it?
And there might be a slap behind that light.
Yeah.
Or
Would
like
you do
shock
it?
Yeah.
Would you do it? My inner circle 100% of the people in my inner circle would make everybody's life better, even if it affected them negatively.
Yes.
They would walk through that room. And that's how I judge everybody. Like, that's my standard. If you want to know how to get into my inner circle, that is absolutely my standard. I need to see how you treat people that do not even affect your life, that could hurt you. Mm-hmm. Like, who are you? My kindness standard is insanely high.
But also, like, if somebody's doing something that I think is not acceptable, appropriate, whatever, I will do something or say something that many people will think is mean, but, like, I want this person to remember that. Like, I don't want them running around, like, making other people's lives worse.
Correct.
So, like, if I have to slap you a little to, like, end up making things better, like, that's fine.
Correct. That goes back to my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it still looks bad.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and the ESTP is often judged to be a bully. But my intentions behind my bullying ways are that exact thing.
Literally just to, like, set you back on track.
Make you aware.
Yeah.
Is this going to make people hate us even more?
I don't care. Hell, I mean, I hope not. I don't know. It's the same concept. It's like, I don't...
Yeah.
Bring it.
I just want people to understand that ESTP, we care so much.
Yeah, and nobody's talking about us.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, we do care so much. And that's the craziest thing is we're willing to, like, take a lot of crap just to help somebody, and we don't need to, like, talk about it. Like, in that situation, we're talking about it now because we're just analyzing, but, like, in that situation, we don't need to ever say that we did anything. We don't need credit ever. Do you feel that way?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need credit.
I do sometimes, though. I do. Like, if people think that I have bad intentions, because I have such good intentions. So if people in my inner circle think that I have bad intentions, there's no better way to break my heart.
Same.
Like, it breaks me. It breaks me.
I still stand by that we don't need credit. That's like the opposite of credit. That's like knocking you down for doing something you think is right.
Okay, I agree. I don't need recognition. I don't care about that.
But when people think you're up to something bad, yeah, that hurts.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah, that's not good.
Because I spend so much energy. If you are in my inner circle, even if you're in my second circle, I spend time thinking about how to make your life better.
Same. Right, and when people think you're up to something bad, it's like really, yeah, I know. Because the thing is that in my mind, it's like everything I do should be visible on the surface. Like, you should be able to tell what I'm doing.
We talked about this last night.
Yeah.
So when we fight, if we punch you, it's going to be out in the open. Everybody, the whole crowd is going to be able to see that we punched you. And everyone can cast their judgments. If we are willing to take that stand that we think it's important for you or for the instance to react in this way, then we are willing to stand by this action. Whereas there's other types that will just hold a grudge and come behind you
when you're not looking.
Sign off.
Yeah. But that last point, when people think you have bad intentions, that's the worst. And that's like some of the worst people, or the worst things anybody's ever done to me, is trying to convince me that everything I'm doing is wrong. And that it comes from a bad place. Because again, I'm willing to look bad. And so if there's feedback that I'm bad for other people that this person hears, and so that makes them decide that I am bad, and they really want to tell me about it, or try to convince me of that, I mean, that can mess up my whole...
Well, that makes sense.
Right.
Why we are so susceptible to people that have that are manipulative, because we get etched by the world. So if somebody is telling us we're bad, we really take that into consideration.
Right.
If our actions did not result in what we thought it would result in.
Right. And I'm aware that there's a whole world of like feeling that I'm not in touch with. I've always been aware of that. So I'm cautious because I understand that that's way more important to most people than it is to me. So I know that I don't understand that, so I can only rely on other people's interpretations of that to me.
Same.
So I'm not trying to hurt people. And so when you tell me I am, like, that affects me.
Same.
So it's super easy to manipulate us. If you tell me I'm hurting people.
That's why we have to be so careful who's in our inner circle.
100%.
We have to be
Very
so
picky.
careful.
Very picky. And we draw people in because we are interested in them and we care about them. But we have to decide, you know, who's not going to get us like that. Because you can ruin my entire existence. And it's happened before.
Right.
And I had to dig myself out of it.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm a human, and, like, my way of going about life is okay, too.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I don't live in feeling land.
There's benefit.
Yeah, it's, like, okay to be an ESTP, too.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But, like, the guilt that comes with people trying to tell me this stuff is the worst. And I think the worst thing you can say to an ESTP is that they're mean, and that they're mean on purpose. Like,
it breaks my heart. Like, I am devastated. As passionately as you see me be happy or scared, like, that's how passionately I'm devastated when somebody in my inner circle thinks that I purposely hurt them. I don't care if you think I hurt you, but if you think I purposely hurt you, it breaks my heart.
Yeah, like, I'll want to not leave my bedroom. Like, you want to get an ESTP depressed, like, start there. You know what I'm saying?
Same. Yeah.
And I'm telling you how to mess with us more because I want you to show yourself and get out.
Yeah. I wonder if, so I would be very curious if ESTPs ever end up in long-term destructive relationships. Because I wonder if we don't get rid of those people before too long. Like, do we catch on?
Yeah, so define long-term A.
Well, I mean, like, somebody that you're going to place the security of your entire life with. Like, I place my car could ruin me.
Sure.
He could destroy me if he wanted to. So I've put my entire trust, he has control. I've given him control of my life.
So I'm sure it's happened, right? That ESTPs have done that. But also, I think you have to be really, really patient with your evil if you're going to get an ESTP like that, because I think our tie to reality and what you're doing, what other people are doing, is so strong. Like, we know what you're doing. We may not know why right away, but, like, if you're doing things that are pathological, we'll catch on quick. And, like, our tie to reality is just so strong. And even if you mess with our heads and convince us we're all kinds of messed up, it's like we're going to see that, well, maybe I am, but you are too. And that you're not healthy and that this is not good for me. Or eventually, I think our tie is so strong to reality that I think we'll see it at some point.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
Because even through, like, the 7 years that I went through where I was not my ESTP self at all, I was in a really, really bad place, I still was aware of relationships that were not helpful. When I got into a relationship with Carr, I relaxed and leaned into it because the reality of it was so real.
Right.
So I'd be curious, do ESTPs end up in long-term relationships that are abusive? I mean, because I do know that we are susceptible to manipulation. Like, I've been manipulated for years and years and years of my life in a way that just destroyed me, but still I was able to
find the light.
Right.
And I've been obviously, you know, in bad places too with people who were incredibly unhealthy, and it just took, like, one glimpse of, like, the truth. It took, like, just enough time to let my TI work through what the F has been going on. It's like as soon as there's something that I can latch onto, and there always is, it's like, that's it, that's reality, and all the pieces just start falling into place. all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what's real is real. But you can mess with us. Like people can mess with us for sure.
People can't mess with me. Like I think that you're more vulnerable in this area than I am because that you have such an aversion to this. But because that I grew up in a family where like things, the TI was not highly valued. I developed, you call it manipulation, I call it survival.
That's fine. And honestly, if you're using it for a place where you think it's letting you survive, like that doesn't offend me in any way. And
I think that both of us share the same goal. We have already identified what that goal is, making people's lives better. But I come at it with this skill that I had to learn to survive my family. And you see that as manipulative, but I use it to still achieve this goal. Mm-hmm. Where was I going with that?
Well, I only think that's a tiny part of what you do. It's just a part that you're okay with existing there, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yes. You get it.
Like it's just a tiny chunk of what you do.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but I honestly think I'm in this place where life is forcing me to learn this now. Mm-hmm. You know.
Right. Well, here was what my point was just a second ago.
Oh, yeah.
I think that you may be more vulnerable to it than I am at this point. I'm not scared of it at all. If you come at me with extremely manipulative tendencies, I don't care because I see it. I recognize it from miles away. I'm not even a little scared of it. Mm-hmm. Because I've already dealt with it. I've incorporated it into my TI processes. Did I say that word right?
Yes.
Okay. Nathan, will you cut that out?
No.
Anyway, so I'm not as scared of it as you are.
So, okay, fair, and I agree, but I think I just came through a place of realizing that it exists, and I'm on the precipice of now I'm about to have to face I am currently starting to face the world with this realization. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think I might be starting to be ready to deal with it, but like I haven't had to do a lot yet with my newfound knowledge.
Right. Just like I'm on the brink of like exploring the world that you've been doing since you were 14.
Like the physical.
Right. And you see my response to exploring the outside world, and I'm crying, and you're like, I can't imagine that. I'm crying because I have to stand.
Miami video. I'm in this room alone, man, and I don't know. I put the couch in front of the door, man.
Listen, that's exactly the same as my feelings toward you on this whole process.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Yes, that makes so much sense, though.
Like, oh yeah.
I see why you think that's so crazy.
I didn't think it was crazy. I just didn't know.
It's a little.
Like I was surprised.
It's a little crazy.
No, it's not. Crazy is not the right word. Come on, you just like hadn't been like out of the house a lot in the nicest way. You know?
Yeah.
Like you said, there's already somebody hovering around you, making sure you're okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's not crazy at all. It's a perfectly reasonable response. I just had no idea how like taken care of you were. You know?
Yeah.
Because to me, that's like a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, being in a
at 14.
Like I slept in your room tonight. I didn't even lock the door. I don't even know if I closed it all the way. And I don't know you.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
Yeah. And it's been very obvious. I mean, I don't know if you guys would find this interesting, but it's been very obvious. She was very comfortable coming up to my house and meeting somebody she'd never known, where I was obviously nervous.
Yeah, she was.
Somebody I'd never known. Yeah.
For a second. For like 7 minutes, she was like a little anxious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just knew you'd get over it, so it's fine.
Yeah. But it's just different areas that we've explored in life.
Yeah. I don't like the I'm dealing with.
I'm so excited. We're both exploring new territories.
Yeah. But so I feel like I see these things now, so maybe it won't happen to me as much anymore, but it's just the amount of trauma that this stuff has caused me is like, it makes it like, it's like if you had gotten like robbed at gunpoint when you're in Miami. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you'd be scared, real scared next time. It's not just that you never dealt with it.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
that's true. That is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
I've been traumatized,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with people just messing with my head.
Yeah.
And had no
but
idea.
if it hadn't been such a big, like, in your face, would you have faced it all? Because it is such an aversion to us who are so straightforward.
I would have never wanted to. So no, probably not. You know, so it's not like I'm not thankful. It's not that I'm not thankful that this happened or that these things happened to me. I am. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't take it back. I learned so much. It's just I still don't like it. I wish it would go away. You know what I mean? I'm still in that like denial-ish thing where it's like, that's a real thing, but I don't want it to be, you know?
Yeah.
But it's gonna sink in and start, you know, being able to become part of my worldview, even though for now it's still on the edge.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll sink in.
It'll be interesting. So it'll be fascinating for us to watch this video in 5 years. And like if we do a video like this every, say, 5 years, and then when we're 70 and we watch back on the progression of us developing, it'll be so fascinating.
Yeah, it will be.
Hit that like and subscribe button if you want to watch us.
Nice to meet you.
We'll be 70 in no time, and you can watch the progression.
We're gonna be talking about some Botox on the way. So
she's gonna do the research because you have access to more of this knowledge than I do. Say amen.
Amen. Are we done now?
Thanks for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button.